wahine who bark, chew, and spit. Aren't we descended from wahine who flicker like lehua after a hard rain? You see, we come here with our bodies, which means we come here with our lands. Joss, aloha is not straight.
Sis, you are most definitely sly. So sly that even though we live in a world that works so hard to erase us, I would work twice as hard to offer you new skin to see yourself in this world and the next, again and again and again. Because when I see you, I see parts of myself I grew up yearning to see. And the truth is, when we can see ourselves, this world gets a little less lonely and a little more free.
One of the wahine who taught me how to be more free was Haunani K. Trask. She taught me how to choose and build what she called a slyly reproductive life. And her lesson lives in a poem that she wrote called Sons. And this is how her poem goes. Your grandmother said about your grandfather, I gave him 3 sons. Yesterday, a man told me to give him trust.
Is trust like a son, but less, not being generative, phallic, or immortal?
Did she tell me about her giving in pride or warning?
But I have no sons, no line of immortality. I am slyly reproductive.
I am slyly reproductive. Ideas, books, history, politics, reproducing the rope of resistance for unborn generations.
But sons are not so earthbound. They soar beyond somewhere with a woman's trust in their fists.
And I,
we stay behind, weaving fine baskets of resilience
to carry these daughters in.
Hoo-wee! Oh, stop, keep going, stop it. You're gonna make me cry. My name is Noʻu Revilla, but please call me Noʻu. I am the author of a humble book called Ask the Brindled. And this extravagant, talented person to my left may seem familiar to some of you, especially to those of you who have the book. That one right there. This is Jocelyn. She is a multi-dimensional ʻŌiwi creative, my collaboration soulmate, co-host on one of the best podcasts in the world, It's Lit. Please give it up for the cover of the book, Jocelyn Ng. Coming up to the mic next is one of my favorite people in the entire world. She is an incredibly talented writer, the other co-host of It's Lit, a wonderful educator, my ride or die through it all. Please give a very beautiful welcome to Anjoli Roy, your MC of the evening.
Have y'all been out in like the last 3 years? Because I haven't. This feels amazing. How are you? We did it. We're here. We're celebrating. This is such a beautiful night to gather. It's wonderful to see your faces. And it's my pleasure and privilege to get to officially welcome you to the launch of this amazing book, Ask the Brindled, a vital work that explores themes of desire and intergenerational healing through the cultural figure of mo'o, shape-shifting water protectors who, for No'u, are models of transformation and erotic power in Hawaiian culture. In case you missed it, Honolulu Mag has recently named Ask the Brindled one of its essential Hawaii books you should read. I'm also super happy to share that this book that just came out like 5 minutes ago is already in its second printing. So we're doing a good job. Keep ordering copies for your loved ones, your aunties, your cousins, your nieces, everybody. You're here, which means you already know how exciting this book and celebrating Noʻu is. But just for fun, I wanted to share some of the flowers that some overseas reviewers have been placing at Noʻu's feet. Again, we already know all this, but they're catching up. So here's some of what they've been saying. Poetry Foundation calls Noʻu's book haunting and visceral. Publishers Weekly describes the book as reclaiming indigenous and queer Hawaiian identity, challenging colonial narratives by investigating history and personal experience. Rhino Magazine says that reading this text is to visit a shape-shifting dictionary. Book Riot calls it a beautiful book that honors the unique stories of queer and Native Hawaiian women in bright, unflinching, unforgettable language. And Forward Reviews says that Noʻu's is as singular a voice as can be found. Rick Barrett, who so smartly chose Noʻu's book as a winner of the 2021 National Poetry Series from a whopping 1,600 submissions, describes the text as poised in the electric space where history and lyric converge, with both tenderness and urgency brought to poetry's reparative labor. Ask the Brindled shows survivance as a gorgeous unfolding of story and polemic, audacity and song. Noʻu is the first Hawaiian woman and first poet from Hawaii to receive the National Poetry Series prize. Needless to say, yeah, clap it up. So, needless to say, my friends, if you've not yet picked up your copy of Ask the Brindle, tonight's the night. I just heard this from Brandy, who's gonna be our first reader tonight, which is very exciting, that she has 50 copies of Ask the Brindled free for students. You're gonna memorize Brandy's face when she comes up here in a minute, but I wanna, of course, shout out the amazing sponsors for tonight's event who helped to make this evening possible, including the Mānoa Center for the Humanities and Civic Engagement, the Better Tomorrow series, Kamakakuakalani Center for Hawaiian Studies, Hawaii Nui Akea Native Hawaiian Student Services, the Department of Women, Gender, and Sexuality Studies, and the Department of English. It's my pleasure to introduce you to our first reader of the evening, Brandy Nālani McDougall. And I'm introducing her and each of our readers with a bio that Noʻu crafted, so these are really beautiful. She says, Brandy Nālani McDougall was the first teacher to call Noʻu by her full first name in a classroom on a regular basis. Brandy was the first ʻŌiwi wahine poet Noʻu ever saw read poems in public that testified to the kind of survival she knew in her body but did not yet have language for. Every year, Noʻu returns to 2 of Brandy's published poems for inspiration and guidance. Salt Wind of Waihe'e and Return to the Kula House. Maui no Ka'oi, Brandy Nālani McDougall, mahalo nui loa.
Aloha mai kākou, aloha aina mai kākou. Really, it's really beautiful to be with all of you here today. I wasn't counting on starting to cry immediately when I came up, but it's happening nonetheless because of the beautiful introduction that Anjoli gave and what Noʻu shared with her to say. Yeah, I still remember Noʻu when I was a graduate student in English, working toward my PhD. Noʻu was one of my students taking my Native Hawaiian literature class. At the time, it was like one of the only ones offered, which, you know, gosh, thankfully, there, we've really come a long way, right? Like, you can offer so many courses devoted to Kanaka ʻŌiwi literature, and not even scratch the surface, really, like when you think about it. It's just really amazing to see that and to be a part of that. So I have, without further ado, I'm going to share a poem that's also of Maui, and Maui no Ka'oi. I'm saying that a little shyly because, of course, we're, ma o ahu alua. But I wanted to read this poem for No'u. It's a new poem called Nā Pu'uone a Waihe'e. And and I originally dedicated it to Haumea and all of the kupa aina, aloha aina, and kia'i of Waihe'e on Maui. You are still here, the birthplace of salt and wind, of rounded black and red basalt pebbles, glittering olivine, smoothed coral and bone. The waves roll rock and reef, tangled nets, tarp, plastic bins cut and culled from convenience, dulled glass shards of broken bottles. Everything comes to you freed from what it once was, newly emerged to become the sand in these dunes again, to live again. They say before the drains and grates that steal the water of the valley, lo'i kalo lehua line the stream banks, their leaves and stalks trembling, young i'o pounded for the throat moistening lehua poi. Your springs still gurgle up through the wide archaeology of your iwi kuomo'o to nurse ule, hau, lolu, kawila, kili o opu, naupaka, uki uki, po hui hui, uhaloa, ho ava, kawa'u, manono, kaluha. All unfurl, weave their roots, cling to the sands of Mauna Ihi, even as the salt wind bruises their leaves and crusts them, even as the sun and salt desiccate and sting, even as we all may drift toward such flight. Then your water upwells from below, bringing such sweetness to the local vai, the muliwai. Aloha waihe'e I kamakani pa'akai. Aloha namakani e noho mau. Aloha e aha aha. Aloha e akipohe. Aloha e kili o opu. Aloha no e o opu. Nip and waft, carrying rain mist along the kahawai. Above, hihivai, opai, napilia, nakea, blowing billows of sea spray along the lei of dunes, the hidden smoke of O'opu, long past, but also waiting. Aloha waihe'e I ka ua a nui nui, ke au akua, ke au ku, ke au loa, ke au onohi, aloha no e akipohe, aloha no e kili o opu. Circle and fall gently, then thunder, upwell the kahakai until full, the kahavai until full, flowing freely again. Aloha no e haumea e. Nui ka mahalo for all that you birthed, shaped and heaped from reef, from mauna, from pali, from the ocean floor, all you eroded, carved from ice, wind and rain, from shell, coral, basalt and bone, to bring us Mauna Ihi. What is sand but a return to life, the brittle bones of before, breathing and birthing again? From you, we know birth to be just one of many passages, that we are born a flicker of sun, emerge a faint spark or drop, only the frailest slivers from the branches of Kalau ke Kahuli after it was flung into the waves so carelessly, that there is pain and labor, the stinging salt of our sweat and tears, our blood, and it is how we learn life is precious. Remember our histories, short and porous as they are. Your pu'uone have a much longer memory, have become a peva binding ocean to land, buffering storm surge, offering moina, makaloa of sand and salt, cool springs from underground tunnels, that hanai pools of lokowai, ho'oipoipo with ocean and the muliwai, where underwater gardens of limu, lacy, black, crunchy, purple, and red, fringed and fat, juicy green, cling to the reef. Life begins again as they hapai warm nests, nurse new hatchlings of a'eo, ua'u, and koloa, part the grasses and sedge to reveal tender caverns for piko and iwi. Your pu'u are everything beginning and everything returning. Vai of waihe'e, pu'u ne hanau aloha, eola no ho'i, eola no. Yeah. Mahalo nui.
Can we give it up for Brandy again, please? Okay, up next we have the incredible Mahia and Kahala. And if you don't know, we're about to put you on. Sorry, I got a little bio for you. This is coming from No'u. It's so beautiful, it's worth it. Don't you want them? You want them immediately. They're so beautiful, but give me a second. Okay, Māhealani Ahia and Kahala Johnson are indigiqueer brilliance and mo'oholic intersectionality in the flesh. Chosen family is vital for queer communities, and in Mahia and Kahala, No'u founds not just queer family, but mo'o-loving kin, who can turn a research question into the sexiest and smartest thing you have ever seen on a PowerPoint. Mahia and Kahala are kia'i without question and with wild capacity. Kia'i who can teach a seminar on consent and creation stories, run a workshop on nonviolent direct action strategies, compose a dissertation on kiha wahine, stand on the front lines to protect two sacred mountains, and still, at the end of the day, show up hard for queer ʻŌiwi joy. Once again, Maui no ka'oi, Mahia and Kahala, mahalo nui loa.
Girl, it's been years. Aloha, folks. We're going to be getting started just in a second. We've got a ritual for y'all tonight, and Mahia will be setting up in preparation for that. But to begin, from the tops gagging glory holes at Kapi'olani Park, to the bottom diving daddies at Chico's Tavern. Aloha mai kākou. As No'u spits poetry in our orifices tonight, our bodies remain bound and consenting, spread and eager for the gift that is Ask the Brindled. A gift that we've all been asking for and hardly deserve, so I'm here for it, all right? As mo'oholics, and mo'o-adjacents, we offer our kuha, our spits, to Nā Kini a Kolo, the creepers, the crawlers, those who shift us as they shift themselves. We remember the mo'o ili'ili, slain here by my grandsister, Hi'iaka, on her journey to return that fuckboy, Lohiao. We remember the caverns beneath Kawaii, beneath us, where Mo'ili'ili continues to noho against the wrongful occupation of our islands by the US Navy, the United States government, and all colonizers and occupiers of this world. We remember the mo'o, calling her relatives across Oahu, gathering her vai to give her her mana. Before you see placed a couple of vai that we, Mahia and I, went around the islands to collect at very special places. We have vai from water from Mo'ili'ili here in a location that has become a church, become a school, but it is a site of violence, like I said. Mo'o has died, was killed in that place. We've also gathered vai from Palolo, which is where our lovely, lovely poet tonight is currently living. We went up to, I braved Laie and Kuku, love them, family. But it's wonderful seeing me in a yellow shirt. Like, please take me more in front of the Mormon temple. It's wonderful. All right. Gathered water from Laie. We also went to Malai Kahana. Malai Kahana is the mother of Laie Kawai and Laie Lohilohe, which are ancestors that Mahea and Noʻu both are descendants. We also gathered water from an area near Kapukaki where the U.S. Navy, U.S. military has, of course, poisoned the waters and the watershed here and has failed continually to take accountability for. We've also gathered water from Kawainui Marsh, located in Kailua, for the protectors, the ki'iwai there, Hawahine and Kahalakea, who are mentioned in No'u's many poems. And of course, our last vai is from Mo'o herself, Māhealani, who comes from the Ahia line and from the family of I. And she brings her powerful vai, mana vai, tonight. We also remember the mo'o by offering ki'i to Nā Kini a Kolo, empowering aspects of the shapeshifter, the liminal, the translucent. Before you, you see ki'i, images, photos created for our pleasure, for our viewing pleasure. You will see perhaps caverns, the wink of an eye, a few glimpses of text from books that might be familiar. You may also find certain people, places reflected within these sheets. I ask you to gaze upon them lovingly and with desire. Lastly, we remember the mo'o by offering these ume, or attractants. First and foremost, ale ilima, that I made myself by going to Long's and purchasing these for $13.99. Ale ilima made out of wonderful convents. Beautiful, pearls galore to honor our Eva folks. And of course, we have a receipt from my trip to McDonald's this morning with the names of those we offer tonight to the mo'o. David Ige. David Lassner. Eric Spitzer. Oh, that's the guy, and he's got fired from the Navy because he's like, oh yeah, drink the water, it's fine. And of course, my ex Punaloa, but you all can't see that receipt, sorry, no concern. And so we begin tonight with these objects, these sacred and pleasurable objects before you, to give honor to the mo'o, to give honor to No'u, to her family, to her clan, to her relations, to her queerness. O kolo aku, o kolo mai, o kolo kua, o kolo lalo, o hua hua koka, o hua hua ka vai, ea ka ai a kolo, he vai, he ia, he nuku, he naka, he kane, he hine, he hua ka vai, I vai no, I vai no, I vai no, nā ka puna ku'u vai, piholo. O kolo aku, o kolo mai, o kolo kua, o kolo alo, o hua hua koka, o hua hua ka vai. Ea ka ai a kolo, he vai, he ia, he nuku, he naka, he kane, he hine, he hua ka vai. I vai no, I vai no, I vai no, naka puna ku'u vai, piholo. O kolo aku, o kolo mai, o kolo uka, o kolo lalo, o hua hua koka, o hua hua ka vai. Ea ka ai a kolo, he vai, he ia, he nuku, he naka, he kane, he hine, he hu aka vai. I vai no, I vai no, I vai no, no ka puna ku'u vai. Piholo. O kolo aku, o kolo mai, o kolo kua, o kolo alo, o hua hua koka, o hua hua ka vai. Ea ka ai a kolo. He vai, he ia, he nuku, he naka, he kane, he hine, he hu aka vai. Iwai no, iwai no, iwai no, nakapuna aku uwai, pi holo. O kolo aku, o kolo mai, o kolo kua, o kolo ala, o huaku, o kawai, ea ka ai a kolo. He vai, he ia, he nuku, he naka, he kane, he hini, he hu, akawai. Iwai no, iwai no, nakapuna aku uwai. Lu kapu, lu noa, ua kapu ea. We'll share a mic like we share most things.
At least we have the same taste. E ololi, e olola, e nuku anu au ia oi, ai hea ka vai nā nea. Aia I mō ili ili, I ka aina o ka mō ili ili, aia I laila ka vai nā nea. It's appropriate to begin where we are, in mō ili ili, with a mo'o ka mō ili ili, when she and her rival clan of Hi'iaka Kapoleo Pele fought. Now, Hi'iaka used her lightning skirt as a weapon to slice and sever the mo'o into 1,000 pieces and left her dismembered body strewn about town. But mo'o have regenerative powers. And rather than die, each of those severed pieces blossom into its own mo'o, overcoming and inundating the entire valley with thousands and thousands more mo'o. It's said that their caves run deep beneath the city, beneath this building, perhaps. And if you wish to know these secrets whispered from below, you must be willing to create brave spaces where we share vulnerability, brave spaces where we can listen to those voices that are called monstrous, with mouths gaping, fearful traps, and tongues that refuse to stay silent in the face of injustice or harm or deep soul woundings. If you want to know more, you'll have to ask the brindled. He ololi, he olola, e nuku ana au ia oi, aia I hea ka vai nā nea. Aia I pālolo, I Mānoa, I kailua, I kapu ka ki, aia I laila ka vai nā nea. He oli, he olola, aia I nuku ana au ia oi, aia I hea ka vai nā nea. Aia I la ie. I ka lai o malai kahana, aia I laila ka vai nā nea. We offer this water of our grandmothers to Laie Kawai, the line that No'u descends from, and to Laie Lohe Lohe, her twin sister from whom I descend, making us cousins, a lifelong sisterhood woven through time, through shared blood, through storied traumas and transformations. We honor our mo'o severed in the kai of Malai Kahana. An epistolary from Malai Kahana. Dear Mo'opuna, beloved descendant of broken regeneration, the one with unexplained birthmarks, splotchy patches eclipsing golden skin, the one with ingrown toenails clawing through tender nail beds, the one reading clouds like books for ominous wisdom and patterns of betrayal. If you should find your va'a called to our north shores, your ka'a mysteriously dying before the jagged cliffs, the hair on the back of your neck prickling attentive, pause and listen to the sound of your grandmother's tears that weep in rhythm with your fresh wounds. Brave enough to return to this scene of a crime, where religion was supposed to protect a 5-year-old body, sins of the flesh casting out angelic heavens, and scream with me, it stops with me. No more molesting those whose names we revere on Sundays. No more closets of secrets. No more adult games disguised as child's play, leaving marks on skin, memories refusing healing, remapping repeated rape of our sisters and brothers and cousins deep into the storied landscapes like landmines of PTSD caught in rememoried loops, a memorializing of our dead parts. Only escape to eat your own skin, shed, tail, but never to forget generational trauma, marking skin like battle wounds. When phantom limbs call you back to the scene of the crime to recollect and reclaim those missing parts, to own your own self-grown, you will no longer have to protect your sacred pools in isolation, hiding in thickets twisted by pale hands, becoming invisible to evade any intentions. When you finally find yourself here on your Aina Kupuna, and you long to know what calls your feet to follow your na'au, pause and listen to the currents inside you churning and ask the brindled. He ololi, he olola, he nuku ana au ia oi, aia I hea kawai nā nea. Ea, I kea maumo o lelo, na mea molo I ka a lelo, aia I laila, kawai nā nea. Ask the brindled.
E mo I hoe, mo luna e, mo lalo, mo ke kua, mo ke alo, ea ke ai a molo. He vai he ia he nuku he naka he kane he hine he hu aka vai. I vai no, I vai no, I vai no naka puna ku'u vai. Lu ulu kapu, lu ulu unoa, ua noa, ea.
Up next, we have the incredible Liz Soto. And this is the bio that No'u wrote for her, a beautiful bio. She says, No'u remembers the first time she met Liz Soto. It was a poetry workshop, and everyone who came in the door seemed to gravitate to Liz. And it didn't take long to understand why. Liz's poetry was intelligent and spellbinding. Then, at a bar in Chinatown, No'u watched Liz perform work from her powerful chapbook, Eulogies, where even the noisy bartender couldn't break anyone's attention from this world-class, genre-defying performer. Liz's friendship is the most beautiful poem, and two of the safest, most inspiring places in the world for No'u are Liz's front porch and kitchen. Liz Soto, mahalo nui loa.
She's one of the people that I can nerd out on poetry. She loves Seisura. She loves enjambment. And I was privileged to live with her, to see everything grow, and is the most amazing woman. It's been such a privilege to be with her. So she asked me to spit fire. I have not done that in 8 years.
Let's go, Liz.
So the last time I performed this poem was in Papua New Guinea. And it was in front of the Council for Pacific Churches. Hey! This will mean something when I am done. Hail Mary, full of grace. It has been a long damn time since my last confession. And I have to confess that my best friend's boyfriend is really, really religious. And it came to his attention that I am in recovery from an educational institution proliferating piety at the price of faith. So he made it his mission to make over my manifestation into a mirror image of godliness he could comprehend, because in that end, I would look just like him. This began a discussion that both of us were determined to win, because this catechized would look like a prize, the destiny of my spirituality. So he said, this is what's worrying me, your negative views on Christianity. So then I had to think about the Bible written by 100 different hands of man, translated again and again every time it reached a new land. And then I had to think about the big men who read this book and justify every look and behavior by what is inside. So for my answer, I turn to the great bard. It doesn't matter which chapter or verse you use to defend your actions or your views, because even the devil is horse with 3 times 4 gets 3-piece pinstripe, stoop the steel barrel he shoots, or the long liturgical lexis he whips can spill the words of scripture through his lips. I can even hear him saying, 2,000 years ago some guy wrote this down. So that makes whatever I do or say today okay. It doesn't even matter if I'm mixing in fictitious drama, because I can defend killing just by the moving of a comma. See right there? I was paraphrasing what the devil might say. But I have heard those words coming through the airways of men, betraying faith as a foreplay to war, so religious text becomes a metaphor for the Kama Sutra and the joy of sex, because these same spiritual translators would have us believe that the first sin lies in the hands of women. So the power of our intellect sits in the simple, single act of sex. These men wouldn't even consider the possibility that that bite on the apple might have been a reward, giving us the ability to be something more than pliable puppets on a proverbial string, because I like the hypothesis that original sin was knowledge. So today I thank Eve for that gift, because that's why I, yeah, you know it's coming, went to college. And I tried to imagine what kind of God this could be, who would choose one man over another just because of the book he reads. So this is how I conclude my dissertation. It is not Christianity, Judea, or Islam that's a difficulty. It's the men professing themselves as prophets predicting calamity on every soul who isn't shaped the way they want them to be. It's the institutions who declare everyone is welcome across their threshold, but only if you don't dare to be bold enough to bring your whole self in. Because this elected society says some parts of you are shaped like sin. It's the hypocrites who bear their hypocrisy like an oath. It's the bigots who wear their prejudice like a boast. It's the words of spiritual canon twisted by the desires of men to justify any means to any end. Because if every action you take by any moral standard is okay, then why use words written thousands of years ago to validate what you do today? So, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Because I have to confess, I will not defend my transgressions as defined by institutions built by belief in supremacy and a chance to expand dominance over everything. So I say to my best friend's boyfriend, I have the mind and the body of a woman. So though I may offer no mirror image of godliness, look a little bit closer beyond the possibility of sin, and you might find something akin to the reflection of a goddess.
How we doing? Ooh, this mic is nice and hot. Perfect. This is what we need for No'u. Did you get your drinks? Did you get some food? If there's any food left. Are you so excited? Are you living your best life? The answer is yes. Okay, so my friends, I have to angle this so I can keep an eye on No'u while I'm reading this, if that's okay. No disrespect, my friends. So, No'u Revilla is one of my best friends, and I am super fortunate to get to call her that. And to know her is to feel seen on every single level that you have, including all the ones you've tried to keep secret and that you thought nobody else could get to. So before No'u takes the mic tonight, officially again, I would like to invite you to do something. So we might take a breath together. I told you I teach high school. And I would like for you to time travel with me for a second, if you wouldn't mind. I want you to imagine the first time you ever saw No'u perform. Tonight might have been the first time, oh my God, and if this is it, like, welcome, what a night to be initiated. For others of us, maybe we're going a little bit farther back in time. I was trying to remember the date, and I'm not sure if this is right, and I didn't fact check because I wanted to do this without knowing, but I think it was around 2008. I was brand new to this island, brand new to the master's program, and I went to the Contemporary Museum, you remember, Spalding House, yeah? And Noʻu was part of the lineup. And she completely knocked all of us out of our seats. And I remember I didn't know how to process what I had just witnessed. I kept exclaiming to all the people around me, like, oh my God, the way she moves her body, the lines, like her words are so beautiful. I tried to get everything that I could down on the journal that I'd brought with me. Like, I was abuzz. And I guess I wasn't quiet about it. I'm on a mic now, so you're like, I know, we haven't been able to get you to shut up all night. But still, yeah, you might, in time traveling back to your first time with Noʻu, you might remember what this felt like, yeah? That first time. And anyway, yeah, I might have been a little bit annoying, that's fine. Someone might have said, I don't remember who this is, it's fine. They might have said, geez, get her phone number already. Which felt ridiculous to me for at least two reasons. One, she was clearly out of my league. And two, when someone walks into the parts of your house that you are scared to go in and takes you by the hand, and it's the place where you need the most connection. Like when they do that for you, they've already given you so much, you don't go and ask them for something else. And so I didn't ask Noʻu for her phone number that night. I didn't even approach her. I think maybe something instinctively, even though I was new to this place, told me that you don't approach a mo'o without invitation. But I did make a rule that night, and the rule was if Noʻu was reading someplace, I was gonna be there. And it's a rule I live by to this day, and you all know why. You get fed every single time. And you get deeper every single time. And I'm just so grateful for you. And to be here in this room with all of these beautiful people, I mean, Noʻu, I am your ever fan, and I am not alone. It means everything to get to be here with you and to witness how your work is continuing to explode across this the universe, across the whole universe, taking its rightful place. And, we'll be here. We're here for this first book. We're going to be here for all the books. It's the beginning, and we love you so much. Please welcome Noʻu Revilla back to the mic.
I just want you to give your sexy selves a hand. Can you just give your sexy selves a hand, please? A better round of applause. Y'all are so sexy tonight. Thank you so much. Well, first and foremost, to all the mo'o who are here tonight, to all my slyly reproductive siblings, to all my indigiqueer, femme as fuck siblings, I see you, and I believe you, because I know what it's like to have to hustle and patchwork and invent stories that love and look like us, because there aren't any. And one of the reasons I wrote this book is because I believe that indigenous queer people deserve more than just a lifetime in metaphor. And so many people have made this book possible, and too many to name and praise here. Y'all know who you are, doing depth work right alongside me. And the first poem that I want to share with you tonight is actually dedicated to my day one, my sister, Noʻu Revilla. And if you know anything about my sister, you know she has a way with fire. This Sistina is for her. I love the smell of gasoline. My sister loves fire. We keep memorizing her list of objects to burn. Oh, the hot, devotional theater of it all. No one will call this fragrance, this service station blood filling my head with firsts. The first stick shift I knuckled white. The first pack of cigarettes bought without my passing magic. My sister, too, didn't bleed, but smoked. In a world raised without her inflammatory hand, never called on or held, we teach ourselves devotion, what it smells like, what it looks like, devoting fire truck lungs. We fought that first scratch of match, and still they call us emergency, us a garland of risk. So my gasoline goes everywhere, and her theater fills with blood. When I smell fire, she comes blood-flecked and crackling, devoted to each stick snapping through her. First, we weren't bright enough, so first we burned those suburbs down. Everywhere, my gasoline going. My umbilical cord, her umbilical cord, buried together. You see, there is no first without daughters. We are pre-contact blood, less discovery, less devoted to the fire and brimstone. Bless my sister for the guzzling effects of her matchscape devotion. Forever calling my blood back to what came first. And I am so grateful that I get to be in this life side by side with my sister. And too many of us in this room, too often, are made to believe that we gotta struggle alone. As a survivor, there were years I was convinced that from the waist down, I was the giving half of rage. But because of women like my sister, like Haunani, I learned that my body can be rope. That my body, where there should be pelvis and legs, are strand after strand after strand of dirt-splitting rope. This is the continuity of papahana, moku, and skin. And this is how I reach for you. Poetry. Poetry is how I suck choice out of choicelessness. Poetry, do you know what I mean when I say swallowscape? How I eat one world at a time, and I kick this dress off and brace myself like a hurt animal on all fours. You see, I've learned how to mean it. Every time I fling my hips toward night like bones to a monster, I've learned to pick better names for what I become when I fly from their mouth faster and harder than myth. You see, all lizards and shapeshifters, I belong to you. Each leathery bundle born to protect water. We who straddle to survive. So yeah, I dare you to come closer. I dare you to come and learn what it feels like, the danger of women who know we are more than omen. See, because if Aina is that which feeds, and Aloha Aina is love and lover of land, she who feeds is she who fucks. Aina will fuck back. And all our women have that thing crawling inside us. And I wouldn't be here without the women in my life. I wouldn't be here without the women in my life. So this last poem is dedicated to them because it needs to be more than just what we destroy. It needs to be about more than what we bring to an end. It has to also be about what we grow. And because of that, this poem is a promise to my nieces, Tilipue, Kalaukoa, and Liliko Ika Ehukai. The air of enough. A story we must tell, that we grew our daughters in moonlight, glistened their foreheads with salt, crown of bone etched in black, daughters grown to raise their heads and trust the songs of rupture, because everything will fall. I know you are shattered and many named, believing no one knows how to call you home, that home might be a ravaged thing. We wish you could see the peace in the pieces, our bodies ungoverned by fear. We grew you in moonlight, in the bone-flecked sky. The air of enough is our daughters. The air of enough is our daughters. Our daughters need to believe they are enough. My name is Noʻu Revilla. He Hawaiʻi. My mother, Debbie, is a memory maker. My father, John, is a fisherman. I was born and raised on the island of Maui, and I come from Mo'o. Mahalo.
Oh my God. We want to thank all the performers again this evening. You were all so incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to Kavaivai for hosting this incredible event. Thank you all for showing up and being part of this experience and this memory together. No'u's going to begin her book signing now. Get excited. I don't know where the line is going to form, but you're going to keep an eye out for it. If you haven't gotten your copy from Native Books yet, I think they still have copies. No. Damn. Okay, that's good. Wow, good job, actually. That's great. That's great. No'u's going to sign books. Go ahead. Oh, do you want this one? This is a better one.
Oh, is that a better? Okay. Hey, Kalamai, I just wanted... Okay, I just wanted to announce that, this is Ku'ule Hiva Hiva. You say aloha?
Aloha.
Okay. I just wanted to announce that the free books for students are back there with Malaya, okay? There are 30 left, okay? So if you are a student, make your way back there to get your free book. And again, there's only 30 left. Whoa, look at that, look at that.
Whoa, look at that.
Yeah, see, now you guys know, you knew it was gonna be good, but you didn't know how good, right? You didn't know how good until you saw No'u just bring it up here. So yeah, we love you, No'u. Mahalo.